This demonstration is entitled Instantiation of an XSD Class. Now, an XML document is typically used to validate an XML document. TCSQL features the ability to import an XSD document into something called a soft schema. When you look at an XSD document, it can be thought of as a class graph. What you'll see in this demonstration is the ability to take any of those class elements and instantiate them into objects. In this demonstration, we see two text files here. On the right, we see a file called shiporder.xml, an XML document here. On the left here, we see a file called shiporder.xsd. It is a schema file used to validate the correctness of this XML document on the right here. If you look at these documents, the thing you notice is that essentially they're both graphs. You can think of the document on the left here as representing a class graph, and the document on the right here as representing an object graph, or an instantiation of the class graph shown on the left here. One of the things you can do with TCSQL is you can instantiate class definitions here. So let's take a look at that. So what you're seeing now is Microsoft SQL Server Analyzer, and what we're going to do is instantiate a class here. We're going to instantiate a ship order. So let's first, let's assume for a second that we've imported this XSD document into a database here. Let's first take a closer look at this XSD document. We have an item called a ship order, which has an order person, and it has an attribute called order ID. It also has a complex element called ship2, which has child elements as shown here. Another complex element called item with also the following child elements here. So now let's see how to instantiate a ship order here. Let's first take a look at the imported nodes here from our class here, from our class graph here. And we see the following here. We're selecting from this table TCSQL class, which represents the nodes of this class graph here. And we have a view definition here called TCSQL class hierarchy. And we'll take a look at that. And so what we see on the right here, a column that basically we show indentation here to, so it's easy to tell that it represents this file here shown on the left here. So here's our ship order, has this item that's complex with the following child elements here. We have an order person and an order ID attribute, and this complex element called ship2. So now if we take a look at our TCSQL object table, currently it's empty. And we will show the connections here. There are no connections because there are no objects, i.e. there are no nodes. So now let's instantiate a ship order here. And we're going to call that ship order my ship order. So we're going to execute the following insert statement here. And now let's go back to take a look at our TCSQL object table. And now we see we have records in this table representing the nodes of an object graph. And let's look at that object graph instantiation here with the TCSQL object hierarchy view. And we see the following. So here is our order called my ship order. And it has an item, which is a complex object with the following properties. It has an order ID, order person, ship2. So you can see very clearly that we've created an instance of this class called ship order.